Hello. Tragically, I have deleted my intro. Please enjoy this video where I poorly explain what I am trying to do. Basically, I purchased a broken DS Lite from eBay. The SD card slot and top screen were non-functioning. Okay, please enjoy.
Okay, so this is my intro that I've already recorded before, but I lost it. I realized that this process of actually, it's more the video that was the hardest part, honestly. This whole process, I was cursed and had to go through like the craziest, I don't know, but essentially a bunch of files were accidentally deleted, and that was my bad. I didn't realize how much editing would take so much space on your computer, so I was trying to make room and I accidentally deleted stuff permanently. Don't worry, I tried getting everything back. It did not work, but I'm just gonna mash everything that I have together, and I just need to do an intro anyways. Everything else is fine. But essentially, I have been really obsessed with all of these electronic repair videos, especially with the DS Lites and other handheld consoles, and I really wanted to try it for myself, and so I got a DS Lite. I purchased it from eBay. I'll put in the kind of listing on there. I believe it was around like $27. And then I essentially bought a shell, try to replace it. As you'll see from the title, it did not go well. And as my foreshadowing, I like definitely was cursed or something. This was like such a horrible process. This isn't my first time kind of tinkering. So I just don't know really what went wrong other than just things went wrong. But I've got a plan for what else I want to do. So I'm just really excited to kind of show off of what I did so far and then be able to erase all these videos from my phone so I can start the next one. And also my cat. Look at her. Say hi, Salem. Oh, she's like grabbing. Sorry, she doesn't want to be seen. But yeah, so hopefully my video is something you can throw in the background. Don't follow along as far as like having it as a tool. You should just look up DS Lite reshells and modding and things like that. So yeah, okay, thanks. Oh, so cool. Cool. Kind of wanted to show the back end. It's a little hard to see because of my thing, but I don't see any sort of crazy debris. Wait. Okay. I've got tweezers now. so I have to lift this up. I'm actually hoping I can just get this done today. Like, not gonna lie. I don't see any sort of corrosion, which is a little suspicious. I might clean it up a little bit though. Maybe that'll fix it. I just really don't want to have to desolder the SD card slot. I didn't buy one. On this, don't be afraid to pull a little bit more. Okay, cool. And what else? I know these aren't really the right tweezers, I just didn't think this far. And oh shit, that's not good. I don't know if you can see this. But this microphone chip up here. Oh, it's this one right here. If you notice, I've lifted this tab up, but it looks like it's separated from, I don't know if that's right or not. Okay, so this is where things are going to get a little tricky. So first things first, let's just kind of refresh. First, the SD card doesn't work and the top screen is yellowing. So I need to essentially remove the top screen. Now, the one I got from Amazon, the one that was going to come in the fastest, actually does not come with the speakers attached. So there's a little bit of soldering I have to do. One of my limitations in this project is that I actually am not very experienced with soldering in general, so I won't even film myself doing it because it's going to be so bad, and I don't want people commenting about how bad it is. This is just for fun. Let me do this. Let me have fun with this. So yeah, that's going to be a little frustrating in all honesty, but this is about learning, so let's go ahead and get it over with. I don't know if that's gunk or like corrosion. That's not good. What the hell was that? My camera like did a weird thing. That was weird. Is that okay? Weird. Give me some motivation. I'm busy right now. God, this is like making me feel itchy. You know when you go to a thrift store and while you're there, you feel like your face is itchy, your hair's itchy, you feel like you've got grime all over you. That's what I feel like right now. Yippee! Okay, this is the bottom of this. And then put that there. I really don't even I'm gonna actually put it all the way back there. As we have these little speakers kind of ran away. But this is someone put like a pencil marking on it. Oh, so cool. This is so beautiful. Woo! Got it out, yippee! And I didn't break anything. Cool. That's cool. Did I do it? Pinch? He said pinch. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, cool. So I get to keep this. That'll be really nice for a future one. Cool. So this is the old one. We'll just put this to the side. I probably should put an X over it so I know. I'll probably keep it just like want to use it because it's still a screen. It still works. It's just pretty yellow, so it's not like it's necessarily broken or cracked or anything like that. So I'll probably keep this. I'll just put this to the side. That or I'm starting to develop hoarder tendencies. Okay, hey, lock in. Lock in, lock in, lock in. Turn that shit back on. very, very tired, and I am thinking I might just call it quits for the night and then try to figure out the rest tomorrow. I work like a 9-hour shift tomorrow, so it is kind of disappointing that I couldn't get it done today, but I want to be able to like have it playable. So just to tell you now, like right now, I don't have all the screws in because there's a couple issues with a couple things. Like we solved the card slot, but now we have an issue where the touchscreen's not working. So we'll have to figure that out. And then I don't like how it's bulging. I'm getting some bulge right here, and then I'm getting some bulge right over here. I'm not entirely too sure what that's about. So I kind of want to open it back up and see what's up. I probably will do that on my own time without recording. I've been recording for a really long time now. So I think I'll do that and then just do an update and try to put this on as well. Yeah. Okay. Hello. This is just kind of some afterthoughts based off of the project I had. As you can see, I don't physically have anything in my hand right now. That is because I ended up taking it apart off camera, and there were some other issues that began to arise, which then it was just best to dismantle it and kind of pivot. But before I talk about what I'm pivoting to, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts of the project itself, because I want to kind of end on a better note rather than it failed. First things first, I noticed I, for some reason, did not record, or I either did not record or lost the file, but I could have I could have sworn I recorded it, but the SD card did work. I put it in Animal Crossing and it was working, even though the touchpad wasn't working. The DS would just automatically launch to Animal Crossing. As far as the touchscreen, after a couple of reads on Reddit, the motherboard was just, and this is just for anybody else who might be, having this issue, but the motherboard was screwed in too tight. So just be careful of that. When I ended up dismantling it and putting it back together, that fixed the issue. However, when I went back after I dismantled it, put it back together, touchpad was working, the top screen wasn't working anymore. I dismantled it again, and I realized that the top half of the DS case, I was just not able to undo anymore. The screws that came with the case were very bad. They stripped really easily, and then on top of that, after you screw a screw into that type of AliExpress case, you would just break it. Because I tried to actually take one of these to I at least just forcefully screw it, but then it was starting to affect the edges, which then the case wouldn't be flush with it anymore. And then I noticed that the ribbon cable was really close to the black, I believe it's the Wi-Fi cable, that if you know, I suppose, but the black cable was on that kind of that inner armpit of the ribbon cable. And so when it was sitting flush like that, the ribbon cable ended up just having a really tiny tear that affected the top screen. And I didn't really talk about it too much, but cost was a big factor of this. I kind of wanted this project to be less than $100. If I were to start the project over, that means I would need a new case and a new top screen. At that point, it's an extra $40, and I was already around like $78, I think, total, including the cost of the DS. So it just wasn't going to be worth it at that point. So I decided to kind of pivot, but I do kind of want to just have like a funny anecdote of that. This process was probably I don't know if an Etsy witch put a curse on me or something, but throughout the entire time, screws were getting stuck, screws were falling off my desk and flying onto my carpet. So I looked like a cow grazing into a fresh, beautiful field on my carpet trying to find these screws. Is horrible. And of course the ribbon cable broke. I thought everything was going to be nice after that. And then on top of that, right now, I really would have just made this a whole big video of me failing on the Nintendo DS and then pivoting to what I'm going to do next with the parts. But then my cat bit my foot, and I had to go get checked up for rabies. It's so bad that I actually can't walk right now. So I just decided, you know what, while I'm on bed rest, I will just go ahead and edit this video, and we'll kind of restructure for the next one. This one was kind of a mess, and I realized why people make scripts now, because this was kind of hard to organize if you don't have like a basis to go along with. And then let's see, I have like a little fake script right here. Yeah, so kind of the main thing, I guess, just to wrap this up in a little bow, just pivot when you fail. In this case, that it wasn't, I didn't end up doing a DS Lite, and I'm going to go towards a Game Boy Macro. If you don't know what a Game Boy Macro is, it's essentially the body of a DS Lite, but you mod the internals to where it doesn't look for that top screen anymore, so you just use it as a Game Boy, but with the body of a DS Lite. And that's perfect in my case. I have a 3D printer, so I'll just print out the case, because the case that I was using is obliterated now, and I don't need a top screen. So I think that's something kind of fun to pivot to. And I actually don't have a Game Boy, so I think that would be something really cool. I already have a 3DS, so I didn't necessarily need a DS Lite. It was just something that, you know, I could get my hands on pretty easily and try to fix up. And some like pros on this whole project in general was that I was able to take apart and put back together the DS Lite multiple times without needing the video. So I'm starting to grasp that that whole thing a little bit better. The soldering I did on the speakers worked. There was no issues on my soldering as a whole. And this next Game Boy Macro project is going to need soldering, so something that I can extend my practice to. We have part 2 of this where it just focuses on taking this into a Game Boy Macro. I'm actually printing the parts right now. I have a couple parts. It'll still be Hello Kitty themed. I'm still at least going to stick with that. But it'll be a couple of some finishing and some spray painting done, just to kind of make it a little bit more polished. I still have to do a little bit more research on it. But yeah, just what I learned is to, I guess, be a little bit more structured with it. Keep learning to pivot. It's fine. Failure is really not failure. It's just a time to learn. Because even if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have, I gained so much. So I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, just have fun with it. If you are thinking of, repairing or modding or anything else like that, any sort of handheld, just have fun with it. Know your restrictions and know your boundaries. For me, it was more of like a cost thing. The DS Lites in general, if you want them working, you can find them on Facebook Marketplace for like 120 max, like anywhere from 80 to 120. So I didn't really want to exceed that, because at that point it's just, what is the point? Yeah, just stick with your boundaries and have fun with it. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you for joining me. And any advice or anything like that would be wonderful to know, especially from other people who kind of do this for fun. So anyways, bye.